The Monaco Diamond League is going down this Friday, July 11th, and we know that it's always one of the more high-profile events on the Diamond League calendar. Now, I already did a preview of the men's 200 where we'll see Noah Lyles, Let's Boho, even Gout in his, U23 race. So check that out already, but let's dive in to everything else as there's some high-quality races here. Women's 100, let's kick it off with Julien Alfred. She is coming back after second place at the Prefontaine Classic where she ran 10.77 seconds, but she's already run 10.75 seconds at the Stockholm Diamond League earlier this year. And Julien Alfred, for the most part, she has been dominating 2025. It's really neck and neck when it comes to Julien versus Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. Melissa, of course, got the win at Prefontaine and has the world lead at 10.73, but Julien Alfred, when it comes to her individual races, has been dominating. And based on this field, I expect no less. I don't know. I'm not going to predict like a time. Sure, she can run 10.7 once again, and she probably may actually do that. But based on how these athletes have been making progress week over week, it wouldn't be surprising to see her drop back to a 10.8 or even a 10.9 or something like that, right? I don't expect her to just be throwing it down every single week, 10.7, 10.7. So whatever it may be, Julien Alfred, clear favorite in this race. But you might see something special from someone like Jason Sears. Jason Sears showed up at Prefontaine in the Invitational 100, so not the Diamond League race, and she ran 10.85 seconds. That's the second fastest time, only behind her 10.77, which we saw last year while she was still in the NCAA. And she looks like she is on pace to make the USA team and potentially challenge for a spot in the World Championship final. And after that, who knows, right? But not going to predict all that yet. Jason Sears, though, she is in some good form, and I like her motivation, right? She's a newly minted professional, just went pro at the top of the year in like January, February, and she's really warming up to competing with some of these top athletes across the world. So look out for what she does here. Hopefully she's able to kind of hold her own against Julien Alfred. But then you have the rest of the field is stacked. Aaliyah Hobbs, she's run 10.89 seconds, and behind Jasis in Prefontaine, she ran 10.90. Thelma Davies, 10.91, and I think right before or right after that, she had run 10.9 at Prefontaine. Sorry, 10.91 came in Ostrava, and then 10.95 came in Prefontaine. Zoe Hobbs, 10.94. You have Maya McCoy, who's been relatively consistent across the board. So this is a pretty stacked field. Shout out to Amy Hunt, shout out to Boglarka. Apologize for the pronunciation, but you have a couple women in this field, but it'll be interesting. Eyes are on Julien Alfred, and then also for me, Jason Sears, to see how they actually do. Aaliyah Hobbs too. I want to see how Aaliyah Hobbs is, kind of bouncing back from setbacks and injuries. But after the women's 100, let's take a look at this women's 400-meter hurdles, as this is going to be another matchup between Femke Bol as well as Dalilah Muhammad. Now, I say matchup. Obviously, Femke Bol is drastically in much better form, or at least more capable of running significantly faster than Dalilah Muhammad, but Dalilah Muhammad is like in, I don't know, second to none form when we're talking about where she's at in her career. 35 years old already. She's run 52.91 seconds, a Masters, world record for age 35 plus. And she's looking like she might be on pace to win a medal at the World Championships this year. Now, she does have to make the team to the USA, and she has Anna Cockrell in this field, but it'll be interesting to see kind of two things I'm looking at. A, Femke Bol. What is she able to do? She's already run 52.11. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone's has the world lead at 52.0. Can we see Femke Bol drop into the 51s? We know that she's more than capable of doing so. That's her very consistent range, despite her personal best being 50.95. But if she can drop into the 51s, that gives her probably more confidence leading into the World Championships. We don't know what Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone is going to actually run, whether the 400 or the 400 hurdles. At the top of the corner, check out the video where I kind of broke everything down. She's running the 400 this weekend. But Femke Bol, it'll be interesting to see how she actually does play things out here and what time she can actually run. Then Dalilah Muhammad and the rest of the field is who I'm also looking for. Dalilah Muhammad, Anna Cockrell, both of them are going to USAs at the end of the month, and they have to qualify to the World Championship team. Dalilah Muhammad has already run 52.9. Anna Cockrell, she's run 53.8, but we know that she's going to be in great form, when we get to USAs. So this will be an interesting dynamic to see how it plays out, with these two women. season and who's going to come out on top here. What momentum are they going to carry through going into USA's? And then how will they respond to the rest of the field? Someone like Andrew Knight, she just qualified for the team for Jamaica to go to the World Championships. She got second place behind Rochelle Clayton, but she has been in some great form this year. You also have someone like Gianna Woodruff, who's been running really well, right? Ayomide Foloronzo, she's been, running pretty well for the most part. She got a 400-meter personal best earlier this year. So this is a very good field across the board, and I'm excited to see how these women actually do, respond to Femke Bol and what times are actually placed on the board. But we also have the 400 here. Now, this isn't a truly competitive race because we have Marileidy Paulino, who, for all intents and purposes, this is a solo run. Shout out to all the women in the field, who I'll talk about in a second, but Paulino is the most dominant 400-meter runner since Shauna Miller-Weibo has kind of, taken the time to have a child and dealt with injuries and setbacks. Paulino is that woman. She's the Olympic champion. She's already won a couple Diamond Leagues this year, including most recently the Paris Diamond League, where she ran 48.81 seconds ahead of Saweed Nasser. She's only lost to Nasser on one occasion, which was at the Kingston Grand Slam track meet, but she's undefeated outside of that for the past, 2 years, going back to 2023. So she is on one, and it will be interesting. I don't know. Paulino is an interesting athlete because she is able to run fast when she needs to run fast. But if there's no one in the race who's truly pushing her, then she may not actually run that fast because she doesn't necessarily need to. So in this race, I can imagine her running 49 mid to low. But then, if someone truly pushes her, like an Aaliyah Butler, who's been running consistently in the 49-second range, then Paulino could drop a 48, right? Or maybe she could just go all out and run 48 mid or something. Who knows? But Paulino, this is going to be her race. Again, check out the video in the description about Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone's, her decision on running the 400 or the 400 hurdles. Is she going to go head-to-head with Marileidy Paulino? But in this field, Aaliyah Butler is the next athlete that I have my eye on because she's consistently run 49 seconds throughout the year. She ran 49.26 to win NCAAs. She just ran 49 seconds behind Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone at Prefontaine. So she's been very consistent this year, and she looks to be on a path to make the team for USA for a second time. Remember, she made the Olympic team last year. But do not sleep on Nikisha Price. She's been gradually getting better and better as the season has progressed. She just ran 49 seconds to win the Jamaican National Championships. Now this is going to be her first Diamond League race. She was competing in Grand Slam track all throughout the year. I'm excited to see if she makes progress here. Could she drop another 49? Could she go faster? Who knows? But outside of that, you have Natalia Bukovetska. She's going to be in the field. Martina Veal. She's been having a legendary season. So very strong field. Lika Klaver is in here for the most part. Decent field, but Paulino, she is a dominant factor in this race. Now, let's talk about those hurdles. We got some hurdles, and both hurdles are stacked. Men's 110-meter hurdles. This is, I mean, for the most part, you got a lot of Americans in here, but you have some other guys who are also going to be challenging for some spots. First off, Dylan Beard, coming off a win where he edged out Grant Holloway, who, unfortunately, he was in this race before, but he pulled out, seems like, I don't know, in the past day or so. So we're not going to see Grant Holloway. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully he's good. I want to see him back because he's my pick for the gold medal at the World Champs. But, we'll see. Dylan Beard, though, he is in this field, and he's been making steady progress throughout this year. Could we see him go sub 13? I don't know. I'm not going to say all that yet, right? Never want to predict something too crazy, but Dylan Beard has been on a roll. Trey Cunningham. I want to see Trey Cunningham get under that 13-second barrier. He's run 13 seconds flat, 3 times already in his career? Twice this year, once, previously. He needs to get under that barrier. Jacoby Tharp, he replaces Grant Holloway in this field, and he's been on a roll. NCAA champion from earlier this year for Auburn. He's been looking good. And he also just won a race, I think, somewhere in Europe recently as well. Cordell Tinch, world leader, 12.87 seconds. So this is a stacked field with the Americans, but don't sleep on the rest of the guys as well. I've been talking about Muratake all throughout the year. I think he is a true medal contender. True medal contender representing Japan, and he's going to be at home for the World Championships. He's going to be in this conversation. Jason Joseph at the Paris Diamond League, I think he set a personal best as well, so he's going to be in this field. Belosian hasn't been doing as well this year yet, but he's going hopefully get back into the mix. So this is a very, very strong field across the board. Shout out to Just as well. This is a very strong hurdle field, and in my opinion, it is very stacked. Yes, you're missing a Grant Holloway, but this is stacked. Yes, you don't have, Daniel Roberts. You don't have Freddie Crittenden. You don't have, Rashid Brub. This is stacked, though. Without all those guys, I still think it's very, very stacked. But along with that, the women's hurdles, I mean, this is, of course, a race that you can never deny. And anytime I do one of these previews, it's always a similar situation. Anytime we see these fields, it's stacked across the board. We have Aaliyah Armstrong. We have Devin Charlton, Ditaji Kambunji, Masai Russell, Grace Stark, Megan Tapper, Nadine Visser, right? Shout out to Karmasi, right? Apologies, because I've not been following Karmasi, and I know she has the slower, personal best out of the field. But across the board, you're talking about all these women in the field. Olympic champion in Masai Russell, world indoor champion in Devin Charlton, Megan Tapper coming off the winning Jamaican trials ahead of Akira Nugent. Even someone like Ditaji Kambunji, who's really been getting into form this year after world indoor silver. Grace Stark has the world lead at 12.21 seconds. Like, this field is absolutely stacked, and again, I can never pick, but I'm actually going to say that Grace Stark might have a slight edge here because I feel like she's been a little more consistent than most of the other athletes outside of someone like Akira Nugent. But Grace Stark, she's won a couple Diamond Leagues this year. She's run relatively fast and consistently fast. Again, has the world lead. So she's someone who I think may have a slight edge, but anything can happen when talking about these hurdles. Now, let's finish off two field events that I am also very excited for. Men's triple jump. So this was very interesting. This triple jump field had 6 people in it before. 6 people, which was wild. Like, it was very, very strange that they only had 6 athletes entered in a triple jump. Usually they'll have at least 8 people entered into the triple jump. Now they have a full set of 9 people? Yeah, this is or 10 athletes in this field. You have 10 athletes. Like, I don't know what the Diamond League be doing, but they added a bunch more people, which I'm happy about. They added everybody. You got Will Clay. Shout out to Will Clay. Of course, he's on the second, half of his career, not jumping as far as he's one of the GOATs of the triple jump, in my opinion. But he's in the field here. Andy Diaz-Hernandez, world indoor champion and world Olympic bronze medalist from last year. Amir Dos Santos is in the mix. You have Max Hess, right, from Germany. You have Jordan Scott. He's been dominating, winning multiple Diamond League meets this year. Tricky is in this field. You have Zango is in this field. Pedro Pichardo, 2021 Olympic gold medalist, the Olympic silver medalist from last year. He was in the field originally, but looks like he pulled out, so we won't see him. But I think Jordan Scott is probably edge-on favorite, in this field. He has the best season's best, but then it's tricky because Andy Diaz, I don't think he's jumped a Diamond League yet this year, but he's the world indoor champion, the Olympic silver bronze medalist. Like, I don't know. This is tricky. And even Zango, he's jumped decently this year across the board, but point is, this is going to be competitive. Shout out to the men's triple jump. This is going to be very, very competitive. Last thing I do want to take a look at is the men's high jump, where, outside of Barshim not being in the field, we're looking at a rematch from the Olympic Games with, a couple other names. But you do have, Shelby McEwen, Olympic silver medalist, Hamish Kerr, Olympic gold medalist. You have Romaine Beckford and Raymond Richards, both of them from Jamaica. They've been tearing it up, right? Javon Harrison, Wu is in the field. This is, relatively strong field across the board. You have Jan, right? You have Jonathan. I like this high jump field, and I'm looking to see, I'm nostalgic for the days of guys jumping 2.4 meters. Like, when I say the guys, I mean like Barshim and Bondarenko and all those guys back in the, 2010s. But who knows? One day we gonna get back to all that. But regardless, the competition is here. The high jump, even though it's not very high profile, and I know many people have said that it's probably the worst event in track and field, high jump, triple jump, whatever. I think it's very competitive. It's very, very competitive. So these are just the highlights from the Monaco Diamond League coming up this Friday, July 11th. Again, check out the video I already did about the men's 200, previewing that race with all the players, Noah, Letsile, Jareem, Alex Ogando. You have that entire field there, but you also have Gout in that U23 race. And check out the video that I did about Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone and her decision to run the 400 or the 400 meter hurdles. Definitely be sure to check that out and let me know what you're thinking about when it comes to this Monaco Diamond League. Let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.